putting together the basis for what I'm going to share with you today. You know, we've been in this climate crisis for a while. Many smart people have put all sorts of analysis into what the problem is and how we're going to solve it, especially these 17 goals, the SDGs. But how many people are really dealing with the real problem? What is the real problem? The real problem is that we are not doing anything. You, me, not you specifically, but you know, we, the human beings on this planet, we listen to these wonderful presentations that explain why the plastics are coming into our bodies and why all these different problems are happening on the planet, why it's warming, why all this stuff is happening. But you can see from this, some of the things on our website here, if you can look at ExtinctionSolution.com, right? It's not the extinction inevitable. We have to solve our own extinction problems. So it's, of course, oil. Of course it's cutting trees. Of course it's putting plastics and pollutions into the water. Who's doing this? We're doing this. So I've worked for easily 20 years. Worked for the Chinese Academy of Sciences, Research Center for Eco-Environmental Science. I was working in all kinds of industries and also in the changing of minds industry. So remember earlier today we did the three-finger symbol, this society, environment, economy, and balance. What is that for? Society, the environment, and the economy in which we live. There's no getting away from, you know, needing to pay your bills and pay your rent. So we live in this world right now, which is created by who? Well, it's created by us, but it's really created by a system. And that system continues to degrade the world, unfortunately. I'm not against systems, but what we need to do is we need to make things happier, right? We need to begin to really want to change. So, for instance, I was just chatting with these people in the front row here, that they were talking about Change Wednesday. You'll see when you look at our website, it's all about changing ourselves, because you can't change others. So the first thing is smile and make other people happy. When you make other people happy, how do you feel? Happy, so you're a normal person, right? You know, so the first thing is we have to improve our relationships between each other. And of course, we know right now we're in an incredible problem in the world, right up this Gulf back here. You know, these are conflicts that are primarily created by the system in order to make more money, right? So we've been dealing with this for thousands of years, since the pharaohs. I was saying to somebody, you know, since the pharaohs, we have been controlled and manipulated in order to be against each other, and borders created between each other, in order that we're distracted from the real picture, and we just don't do anything about it. It's an apocalypse of apathy. That's what we're in. We're apathetic. We think the solution is going to come from, you know, the government or some kind of wild technology. We think that that's going to happen. Nope, not going to happen. So, how are we going to fix this? Because I do have a plan. My name's McMaster, and I have a McMaster plan. For me, anyway. So that's my plan. It's called the ConscienceLARP. L-A-R-P. ConscienceLARP. It means live action role-playing game. I'm not sure if I can find it fast, but don't worry about whether, you know, we bring it up on the screen right now. The point is that if you could just keep scrolling. The point is that we need to start to lighten up. We need to start to play a game. Okay, a live action action role-playing game. Now, is that going to solve the problem by, here we are in Egypt, so let's put this in the power of three in Egypt, right? Society, environment, economy, and balance. What we need to do, and this is what will be proposed at COP28, and already here in Egypt, in COP27, I made a speech, which is again on the website. Not enough time to show it to you right now, but I made a speech about a very interesting tool for youth, because most of my activities are as sustainability, the sustainability Santa. You probably saw the funny characters here, Roger the reality rooster, and so on. But in the West, anyway, not in Muslim countries, but in the West, Santa Claus is a character, right? People are attracted to it. They think they're going to get a present. So in Arabic countries, what I try to do is be Johab. I try to be the everyman, right? The Johab. But, and that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm wearing this. So what are we doing with ConscienceLAND is we're introducing a game, something that we can be happy about. You know, there's too much fear in the world. We're all worried about what's going to happen if the nuclear bomb's going to go off, or pollution's going to, or our children are going to be harmed. We're living in fear. Do you ever get anything done living in fear? No. You're completely distracted. We have to start to get along with ourselves first, and, which is a long process, believe me, I'm not there yet. We have to get along with ourselves first, and then we have to start to get along with other people. And how do we do that? Well, what I introduced, this is looking a little rangy now, but what I introduced at Sharm el-Sheikh was the ring of truth. Okay, you see it's like this SDGs, right? Sort of similar colors and shape. This is the ring, the SDG ring if you want, but it's the ring of truth. So it's primarily for youth, right? And the idea is that a young person speaks through and amplifies their voice, speaking truth to power. Okay, we need to encourage young people to speak up. They're intimidated right now, and also they don't have the skills, quite honestly. So the first thing is amplify the voice of youth. And that's sort of happening with
That's not like kidding.
Yes, but let's not bring up the current small situations. This is huge. I'm not diminishing it, but really, folks, we have one planet, only one. What the hell are we doing, dropping bombs on any part of it or anybody? So let's just leave that to the side. Let's continue with the ring of truth, because this could solve a lot of problems. If we began to have young people speak up about their concerns and maybe have some good ideas, that would be fantastic. The second thing is stop the lies. Right? So if someone lies speaking through this, or you hold this up, or you put it on the ground and the politician or the media person stands inside, and if they lie, their nose is going to grow. But to your point, we have to stop this lying culture all over the place. Fake news, all the rest of it, and between each other. So that's the stop the lies. And the third one, very, very important, it's a target for what? Not violence. It's a target for support. It's an attractor for money, support, resources. Young people have lots and lots of wonderful ideas. And even if they're not that good, they should have the chance to express them. So young people need support. It's not always money. It's sometimes just an encouraging word and give them a chance. That's sometimes all they need. So those are the three things that we introduced at Sharm el-Sheikh. And please, if you have a chance, look on the video on the website. It's long, but it's quite good. And it features this wonderful banner. So that's the tool. Now what are we doing in Dubai? Because we are introducing all over the years. I've been to every COP since 2015. Every COP since Paris 2015. heard these stories so many times that, I think these presentations were great, but, honestly, it's the same problem being repeated over and over again. We're not getting to the core problem. And the core problem is us. And it's how we're treating the world. So what we're going to introduce, we already have started it, but we're going to really officially introduce, and I would love it if people here would support us in doing that, participate with us in sharing and developing this idea. It's a game. It's a game called the ConscienceLARP. And the ConscienceLARP, boy, I don't think I have time to find it, but you'll see it when you look at the website. The ConscienceLARP divides the world up into, or maybe divides the wrong word, but there's 57 trillion 3-meter by 3-meter squares on the Earth. Okay? If you make a grid, there's 57 trillion. So there's plenty of them. Now, most of them, of course, are on the ocean. The 70% of the ocean surface is ocean or ice caps. So everybody on the planet, regardless of where you're living on land, you can take responsibility. You don't own it, but you take ISR, individual social responsibility, for that plot. We call it a Gaia plot or an SDG plot. You take responsibility for it, whether it's cleaning it up, maybe it's a beach, maybe it's a coral reef, whatever it is, you take stewardship of it. You take personal care of that plot. Whatever's happening, it might be an orphanage, it might be feeding children, it might be a hospital, it might be looking after people. Whatever is happening that we're on this earth, we should be looking after that. Now, the idea behind this is first, start to improve the earth, heal the earth, and young people particularly. Gamify it's online, but primarily offline. The online part is using AI to find out what can be done on that particular plot, right? We use AI because AI has this capacity to do the research really quickly. But is it good AI that we're using right now? We're using military-industrial complex. It's the same AI that drives the drones and kills families having weddings. Right? That's the AI that we're using with ChatGPT. So look on the website, you'll see the Chat SDG, which is, of course, about the SDGs. So we need to start researching and chatting about what can we do on these plots, these 3-meter by 3-meter areas that we're taking responsibility for. What can we do? There's a speech from Travel Chef over there on the side. And we can do that. And then when you may be familiar with blockchain technology, this is a decentralized accounting system. So here at this institute, this is an institute that is about mapping and establishing what are the challenges on the earth. Perfect. This is what we need. We need to see that there's a scientific and very clearly professional way that will support the rest of the world. They don't have to be experts, but they are looking after, it's like a farmer, looking after the land. Can we do that? Every one of us can do that. It doesn't have anything to do with age or intellect. It has to do with care. So that's the ConscienceLARP. I have millions of things to talk about, but time is of the essence. So I encourage you, please take a look at ExtinctionSolution.com. Consider this idea that you could be the pioneer in your family, in your group, in your whatever. You could be the people who were the encouragers of the creation of this game, all the technical details on how it gets done. You could be that for your children, for your grandchildren, for their grandchildren, right? That could be your opportunity. And that's the message I will bring to Dubai, because, last point, the Secretary General of the UN said about 2 weeks ago, he said that we are woefully behind on the SDGs. This is what we still have efforts that we consulted to so many councils and communities around the world so far. We have done a lot of stuff, but the world and the nations have done very little, 15% in key estimates. So here we are 8 years later, and the head of the UN is saying that we're losing, we're behind, we're not getting this done. Do you understand why I'm saying now, why are we repeating the old things? Why are we repeating the old, even the old solutions? They haven't worked. It's not working. Let's try something human. Let's try to be stewards of the earth. Earth mobilization. Join me in ConscienceLAND. My name is Philip McMaster. Peace. Peace plus one. Right? Peace plus one. Join the fun.